Pesto pasta. When you think of pesto, you think of basil, you know, some oil, some garlic, and everyone thinks it's hard to make for some reason. I don't know why, but it's pretty simplistic. You know, we're gonna make some homemade pesto pasta, homemade pesto sauce, throw a little chicken breast on top of there, and that is what we're gonna do today. So, who's hungry? Alright, just a fair warning, this is my second time taking this video because someone who's new at this forgot to turn the microphones on. So, we're back at this again. I had to run to Publix. As you see, I already made it. I already made the pasta. But we're doing it again for you guys. So, let's do this. Alright, to start out, we're gonna use some all-purpose flour here. You know, this pasta consists of 3 ingredients. We have salt, eggs, and flour. It's pretty simplistic, and I'll show you how to make it here. All the measurements and ingredients you're gonna need, I'm gonna put them right here as I use them, so you know what to use, you know, so your pasta comes out just as good as mine. To start out, we're using all-purpose flour. We're using 3 cups of all-purpose flour. The second thing you're gonna do is you wanna put a little crater inside of your flour. This is where the eggs will sit, and this will kind of give them a place to stay while you mix in your flour to kind of form that dough that you're looking for. For eggs, we're using cage-free eggs because chicken lives, they matter, you know. So, 6 eggs inside of here. And don't hate on me because I do not know how to one-hand crack. And these are pretty big eggs, so I'm gonna use 5. If you're using little eggs, use 6. First time around I did this, I spilled the eggs everywhere. Try to keep them in this little center area because they'll literally go everywhere, and you can see exactly what happened before when I took the first time. And as you mix, slowly include more flour to the inside so it starts to thicken up. And do not break the outside boundary because it will go everywhere, as I showed you before. Once you have it like that, add some salt. And once it starts to thicken up a little bit, you can get kind of handsy with it and start forming that dough. You just kind of want to knead the dough until it forms one big ball. And it should look something like that. Nice, round ball of dough. Not too dry, not too much liquid in there. That's what you're looking for here. So once you have your dough, if you're gonna use it immediately, I would put it outside in a warm place wrapped in saran wrap because you do not want this to dry out. If you're gonna, you know, wait overnight, which is preferably the best option, you know, put it in the fridge with saran wrap, and we're gonna do that now. All right, to shape your pasta dough, first take it out of the saran wrap, and I was smart, I did this yesterday, so I have it ready. I don't have to wait an hour to get this done. And look at it, see? Look at what it looks like here. So full advice here, I would get a different bowl of flour because you're gonna need a lot of flour with this because it's going to stick everywhere. Also, it creates your pasta so it doesn't stick when you put it together through the stand mixer. Just get the flour. You know, stop arguing, just get the flour. flour. All right, to start out, this makes quite a bit of pasta. Honestly, this is enough for probably 4 people, 4 servings worth of pasta. So we're gonna cut it in half, cut it in half again. And this is plenty enough pasta for 1 or 2 people. So again, with the pasta recipe, if you want less pasta, you know, just vary it with eggs and cut it in half. So when you have your pasta, first flour your work area. You don't want it sticking. This will prevent that and it will make your life a lot easier. Flour both sides. Get a roller, flatten it out a little bit. Try to make a little rectangle shape here just so it fits, and press a little bit. So on the biggest setting you have on your pasta roller on your machine here, you know, turn it on and feed it through. On the first pass, fold it. I'll do you favors, just fold it in half and do it again. You want to pass this through a few times, you know, until it thins out enough. So once you pass through a couple times, lower the setting till midway through for the size of, you know, the pasta shaping. And remember the flour so you have no sticking. Once that's passed through a couple times, lower it to the smallest setting and put it through. So you're gonna have very long, thin pasta sheets here. What you're gonna wanna do is cut them to size of how big you want your pasta to be. Now you're gonna wanna switch the cutter piece on your machine. We're gonna make fettuccine here. So this is a fettuccine cutter. You see here it has little notches in it. And a little tip, once you're making this pasta, you're gonna want a bowl to put all the cut pasta in. The cut pasta into, so you can put it in the fridge, and once you eventually cook it, then you have it there all in one place. And remember to flour. And this is what you're left with. And you have fettuccine. Put a little more flour on here so it doesn't stick. And you have your homemade, delicious pasta. All right, to make your pesto sauce, it's really not that hard. I know you guys are pretty freaking out about it over there. I'm talking to, yeah, you, right there, you on the couch over there looking at me. Yeah, it's not hard. It's basil, garlic, salt, pepper, virgin olive oil, and I'm gonna get some hate out there to all the people that actually have made this before. I'm using cashews. I'm using them, I like them, they're sweeter. They taste better in my pesto sauce, so pound sand if you think I'm wrong here, but this is my recipe. All right, again, to start out, you're gonna need these ingredients, and all the ingredients and, you know, how much the quantities are gonna be right here. I'll put them there while I'm making the sauce. Olive oil, basil leaves, cashews, garlic, salt, pepper. To get this started, you're gonna wanna take all of your leaves off of the stems of your basil plant. And again, you're going for around 2 cups of basil leaves, but depending on how much you want to make, you know, you'll figure it out how much you need. So after you put your 2 cups of basil in, you're gonna do 4 cloves of garlic. This will be followed by 1 cup of cashews. You can put more cashews on there depending how thick you kind of want it. You know, I kind of like my pesto sauce a little chunky, so that's what I'm going to put in here. Be followed by some salt, ground pepper, and some oil. So I actually don't know where the top is to this blender, so this should be pretty interesting here. Hopefully it doesn't go anywhere. And slowly add more oil to kind of get it blending. Looks good. It's really good. Now pour your pesto sauce into a bowl. Let's go. Chili this. The thing is, you want it thick. You do want the sauce thick, so it sticks to the pasta well. So after we have our pasta made, our basil sauce, or our pesto sauce made, then we're gonna move on to the chicken. Today we're just gonna use a normal chicken breast, nothing too crazy. And something I like to do is I like to butterfly it. It kind of cooks faster. Lay it out flat like that. For any meat that I like cooking it on a cast iron skillet. I think it just cooks it better, gives it a better flavor. It just does a better job, in my opinion, when cooking, you know, poultry or steak, or whatever you're gonna cook on it. So we're gonna let that heat up right now. So for seasonings for the chicken, we're gonna keep it very simple here. We're gonna do salt, pepper, some garlic powder, and a little bit of chipotle chili powder. It's my favorite seasoning. I think it goes well with almost anything. I'm gonna give it that nice kick with a little smoky flavor that, you know, everyone's kind of looking for here. So we'll do that now. And always remember to season both sides. A little bit of olive oil, and always put it away from you. So you cook this for a couple minutes each side. So after cooking the chicken on each side for a couple minutes, or an internal temperature of 165 degrees, we're gonna take it off, let it rest. Keep it on the pan as it's gonna stay hot. Now, what we're gonna do is boil the pasta that we made. To boil the pasta we made, first get one pot, one normal size pot. You're not making that much pasta. I'm using a glass pot here so you guys can see. Add some water, and you just want enough water to kind of cover the pasta that you're putting in here. And whenever you're boiling pasta, season the water heavily. So once you have your water boiling, because this is fresh made pasta, it's already gonna have moisture in it, so you're only gonna need to boil it for 1 to 2 minutes max, just to kind of get it soft. Give it a nice stir so it doesn't stick together. And while that's finishing up, take your chicken out. Oh my goodness. What the hell just happened? No. Sucks. This is absolutely just... Alright, after that gigantic mishap, the pasta is pretty much done. So what you're going to do is get a large saucepan, transfer your pasta from here to here. And it's okay to leave some pasta water in here. Then transfer your large saucepan, full of the pasta as you can see. Here. Once moved to the saucepan, mix around a little bit, get you however much pesto sauce you want. Put in there and just mix. Lower the heat a little bit. Something like that. While that's heating up a little bit, your chicken and cut it. You can see it's cooked perfectly. Once the pasta's heated, take it off the heat and we plate. This is going to get topped with some Parmesan cheese. And don't buy the cheap shit. If you're putting this much effort into making fresh pasta and fresh pesto sauce, spend the money and get some good cheese. This will get followed by some chopped cashews. And then some chicken. If you want to get fancy with it, do the torch. So through the thick and the thin of running out of eggs, the videotape not working, no microphone, me almost breaking the stove top. It's just an assortment of things. We finally have came to this. This is what we came to. And let's taste it. All right, let's give it a taste. So the first thing that you taste kind of when you bite into like your actually homemade pasta is how kind of soft and delicate the actual pasta noodles are. You know, when you get store-bought pasta, kind of heavy, kind of thick, you know, it just doesn't have that type of texture that you're looking for. You know, and the pesto is great. It has a perfect amount of basil, perfect amount of seasoning. Nothing is overpowering. You know, it's honestly just tastes fantastic. And the thing is, like, it's not hard to make. Yeah, you're gonna make a gigantic mess, as you can see here, but it's fun. You know, it's entertaining, and you get a nice reward of, you know, nice pasta with a great sauce. And if you want to add chicken or whatever protein you want to, you can. You know, this is honestly delicious. I love this pasta. It's one of my favorite pastas to make, and you know, I encourage everyone else to try it. I'd honestly compare it to if you had a steak and the most tender steak you've had, and you transfer that into the pasta world compared to any other pastas. This just tops it. It's so tender, so, you know, just dissolves in your mouth. The pasta is just great. Maverick, what are you doing? No, gross. Ugh. But that's a wrap on this video. I encourage everyone to make this. You know, it's not hard. It'll be fun for the whole family to make, and, you know, stay hungry, everyone.